Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this afternoon, so let's begin. First up, another 2.4 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. For the ninth week in a row, millions of Americans filed for initial unemployment benefits, even as the economy is beginning to reopen in parts of the country. Layoffs and furloughs have taken hold of the U.S. labor market. Another 2.4 million Americans filed for the first time benefits last week, the Department of Labor reported on Thursday, today. Man 91 killed in 3-car crash in Chichester, police say. 71-year-old woman taken to hospital with injuries, police say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup with purpose.
A 91-year-old man is dead after a 3-car crash on Suncook Valley Highway in Chichester. Police say the man was driving north when he crossed the center line, crashing head-on into a car that was operated by a 71-year-old woman. The woman was pushed into a pickup truck. She was rushed to Concord Hospital with injuries.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Coronavirus in New Hampshire, what you need to know information. Let's take a look right now. And here's a look at that information for all of you. There are 3,868 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,539,633 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 191 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 385 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 92,645 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire right here shows you where current cases of COVID-19 are in New Hampshire. Manchester, 623 cases. And this map of New Hampshire right here shows you where total cases of COVID-19 are in New Hampshire. Manchester, 938. And let's take a look at this chart here. These three charts, new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. This chart here, current cases in New Hampshire. Total current COVID-19 cases in the purple, and in the orange, current hospitalizations. In this chart here, total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. In the red, deaths. And in the blue, recovered. Let's take a look at this chart here by age group. This chart here, female and male. In this chart here, risk information. In these charts here, race/ethnicity of cases. Hospitalizations on this chart. Deaths on this chart. In New Hampshire, population on this chart here. And again, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Country Music Festival at New Hampshire Motor Speedway delayed until next year. Inaugural event has been planned for summer. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup, with purpose-built mowers like the Z700, SZ, and W Series, decrease downtime and increase productivity. And a comprehensive fleet program with special discounts and free loaners helps grow your business. One perfectly manicured lawn at a time. Now get the Z700 mower for 0 down and 0% APR for 60 months or save $500.
The Country Music Festival planned for New Hampshire Motor Speedway has been pushed back to one year. After a long fight to win approval from neighbors, the pandemic had the last word. The owners of New Hampshire Motor Speedway had long promised a big replacement event when the Speedway lost one of its 2 NASCAR races several years ago. The concert was slated to fill that void, but after lots of planning, it looks like there is no choice but to cancel that event and try again next year.
Certainly with the situation with COVID-19 and the need for social distancing, it's just not going to happen for 2020. But I want everybody to understand we're still committed very deeply to having an event of that magnitude at the Hampshire Motor Speedway, but we're just going to have to push it off into 2021.
The event was expected to bring in at least 20,000 country music fans over several days, including some of the biggest names in country music.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Take a look at this. New Hampshire mother, Army reservist, surprises son in return from COVID-19 deployment. Sandra DeOst returns home from New York City. Take a look at this video right here.
Kubota commercial lineup, with purpose-built mowers like this.
Wrapped in his mother's arms again. Oh, I love this. Single mom and Army reservist Sandra Dow surprised her son with her homecoming from the front lines of COVID-19. She deployed from Portsmouth back on March 28th with the 454th Medical Unit and spent a month and a half in New York. We also would like to welcome her home and say thank you very much.
They don't want to let go, and I don't blame them.
That's the best.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lori Loughlin and her husband agree to plead guilty in college admission case. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, fashion designer, have agreed to plead guilty of conspiracy in connection with the college admission scandal. The U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts says Loughlin, 55, and her husband, 56-year-old, will plead guilty before a U.S. District Court judge at a later date. And that does it for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.